you guys. Happy Monday. Don't mind what I have going on here. It's a mess. But hello, welcome to the beginning of my 30 books in 30 days. And I just wanted to pop on here very, very quickly to talk about what I plan on reading so far. So I have a stack of books here. So I am currently in the middle of Take My Hand, only on like chapter 3, but I will be kind of reading this throughout the month. It is for my book club that I have going at my job, and we are meeting at the end of the month to talk about it. So I'll be reading that a little bit slowly. So I am in the middle of A Court of Wings and Ruin. This is not a good option for this kind of challenge, but you know, whatever. So I read part 1 already. I'm like 96, so I'm gonna start part 2. I will probably listen to a little bit of it tonight. Yeah. And then I really was struggling on what I want my first official read to be of the month, and my options were Full Disclosure and A Girl with Stars in Her Eyes, and I have decided to go with The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes. Now the audiobook is literally like 14 hours long, which is, you know, also not a good idea for this kind of challenge, but I really think I'm gonna go with this. So it is literally the afternoon. It is like probably like 5. But while I do like my pickups, because I have to pick up my kids from daycare and stuff, I will be listening to this. I don't plan on getting very far into it. Maybe like I listen to it on 2 times speed, so maybe like an hour and a half or so. But yeah. And then I will continue it tomorrow. And then as soon as I'm done with this, I really want to get into Full Disclosure. So that is my plan for this week so far. So these are the 2 that I'm going to start with. That is my plan for now. And I will check back in with you guys probably tomorrow and let you know my progress. Welcome. Let me grab the books that I want to talk about quickly. Casper. Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh, you're fine. I just wanted to see where you were. You're fine. You can go lay down. You can go lay down. Hi, buddy. Okay. I have my balcony door open and I thought my cat went outside. He's right here. Okay, so I just wanted to get on here and update as to what has been going on. I think the last thing I showed was me getting ready for work on Thursday. And so what ended up happening was on Thursday, I went to work, everything was fine. And then there were a couple moments, actually quite a few moments throughout the day, that I was just like feeling really lightheaded and like really lightheaded. And so Friday, I worked once again feeling extremely lightheaded throughout the day. And then Friday, also like I started to develop a stuffy nose and things like that. At the end of the day on Friday, I took my shower, and that was like the turning point for it all. You know, I took my shower, and when I came out of the shower, I was extremely lightheaded. I had chills. I just like was feeling super, super, super sick.
So I have been sick. I had a fever on Friday. I had a fever on Saturday. Yesterday, Sunday, I did not have a fever, and I'm starting to just like get better. I'm still coughing. I still have a stuffy nose. Um, but yeah, that is what has been going on. So, with that being said, I am not as far along in my reading as I would have liked to be. I mean, essentially, March has 31 days, and I want to read 30 books. So I have like a 1 day margin, I guess. But, essentially, I should be getting through like at least one book a day. Today is the 6th. So I should be done with 6 books, and I'm done with 2. So I'm gonna go into my reading update. So the last time you saw me, I said I was going to be reading The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes. I am 50% of the way through with this. The audiobook is like 13 hours long. I think I have like 6.5 hours left. So I'm going to listen to this today while I work and try to get through it. Which I think I should be able to. I should be able to finish this by like lunchtime. So yeah. And then I know I said I was going to, after I finished that, I was going to start. Full disclosure, I started this. I got like 2 chapters in. I'm enjoying it so far. Although, for some reason, I did not realize, and now looking at all of the people who have blurbed Becky Albertelli, Tiffany D. Jackson, Erica Sanchez, Kathleen Glasgow, Glasgow. What? Oh my goodness. I should have realized that this was YA for some reason. I thought it was like more new adult for some reason. I don't know why I thought that. So it is a little bit younger than I thought it was, but so far it's going good. Um yeah. And now the books that I have finished. So I was desperate to finish book. So I ended up picking up my middle grade Black Brother by Jewel Parker Rhodes. I love this. I gave this a 4 star. Honestly, it might even be a 4.5. Like, I actually really, really love this. So in this book, you are following Dante. Um, Dante is 12 years old. He goes to a private school. He comes from a really, really great family. His mother is black and his father is white. And Dante also has an older brother. Oh, let me close this. Dante does have an older brother, Trey, who has like a more fair complexion and like, long, straight blonde hair and is more white passing. And Dante himself is a darker complexion. He has more like kinkier hair, and a lot of people are very shocked to hear that they are brothers, so much so that kids at school have started calling Dante Black Brother. Now, because of his complexion, Dante gets picked on a lot, especially by one kid named Alan. So a situation happens at the school. Alan does something, and somehow Dante is completely blamed for it. And then not only that, but every single adult in the school is completely failing Dante. And somehow, like, the police ended up getting called on Dante for something that he did not do, and he is arrested and handcuffed and brought out in front of everybody. And Dante is, extremely, extremely frustrated and hurt by what is going on. Thankfully, Dante's parents are like 100% supportive and on his side of things and know their child and know that he would never do anything like what they're saying that he did. But which isn't even anything crazy. But anyways, so Dante knows that if he tries to retaliate in any way towards Alan, that he's going to get in trouble, especially because everybody already thinks that he is somehow a troublemaker because of his skin. So Alan is the star of the fencing team at their private school. And so Dante takes on the challenge that he is going to beat Dante at his own game, and he ends up taking on fencing. I really enjoyed this book. It was so good. The characters are really like the heart of this story. Dante's family, his mom, his dad, his brother, they all like are just so precious. Coach Arden, Coach Jones, I loved him so much. But not only that, but then there are some kids that Dante meets at the Boys and Girls Club as well, and I love them as well. Him making friends and these kids kind of becoming like this found family sort of thing. They have family, but them just becoming this like friend group. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Immediately after reading this, I was just like, this would make such a good like Disney movie. And then I remembered that I had read an article that Steph Curry was going to be adapting this into a movie. So good. Such a good book. I highly recommend this one. I read yesterday, I read Recitative by Toni Morrison. Once again, I was desperate to finish something, and this one's like super short. It is a short story. And this is just such an interesting reading experience. So this is, I think, Toni Morrison's only short story she's written. And this is a book about two women. You meet them at the age of 8, and you see them during different moments of their life as they grow up and become women. You have Twyla and you have Roberta. One is black and one is white. And throughout the story, there are so many things that happen to them and in their lives that are, race is at the heart of the story. Their race is at the heart of this story. The only thing is that this is like a little experiment for Toni Morrison. So she makes race the center of the whole entire story, but she does not tell you who is what race. And it is up to you, the reader, to decide who you think is black and who you think is white based off of their life. And she takes everything and she just like flips it upside down. So in this, there is absolutely no right or wrong answer. And honestly, it really does a good job at uncovering your own like biases and prejudice like issues. As you read this, you really start to like fall into like what are the stereotypes and things like that. Honestly, this book had me like messed up for a little bit yesterday. Like I was just like, okay. And this copy has a introduction by Zadie Smith, which is just as long as the short story itself. And Zadie does a really good job of like breaking down for you your own thoughts and why you thought them. And like I felt called out by Zadie multiple times. I read the short story first and then I went back and read the introduction because the introduction like really spoils a lot of the short story. So I would flip it. And yeah, Zadie called me out many times. So that is my reading update for now. I'm gonna go ahead and try to finish The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes, and then after that I will continue on with Full Disclosure, and hopefully I'm gonna try to end this vlog in 2 days on the 8th. So hopefully by then, let's aim for 5-6 books completed. All right, I'm gonna make some coffee. Yummy, yum. So I'm sitting here eating my breakfast, my toast with peanut butter and banana and cinnamon, and I realized I lied to you guys. I'm not going to start reading my book. It is Monday morning. which means I need to watch my 90 Day Fiance and listen to my podcast that I listen to, which is like 90 Day Fiance podcast that they have. So that's what I'm going to be doing while I work this morning. And then I will get to my book. I promise. I'm finishing that book today. Hello, you guys. I'm like sitting in a like on my floor in a random spot. But don't mind my bandana. I just wanted to get on here and talk about The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes. I am giving this book maybe like a 2.5 or 3. I'll say a 3. A 3 because I did enjoy it. This book is about Tony, and Tony grew up with this friend of hers, Sebastian, and they both kind of had really rough upbringings. And apparently, so one day Sebastian just like ups and leaves and doesn't say anything to Tony and just like leaves out of her life. And then now later on, now it's the present day, and Tony, she is a guitarist and has this opportunity to join this band. And when she goes to join the band, she realizes that Sebastian is, I don't know what his role is. He's like the manager, or like he helps out with the band. And so now they have to interact with each other, after not seeing each other for years. And so that's kind of what it's about, essentially. It's not really a romance, it's more of a I don't know, someone's like doing something outside. It's more of a like it's more contemporary fiction with like a hint of romance in it. One of my biggest issues with this book is the length. It's 440 pages. Now, the audiobook is like 13 hours, and I honestly think that if this book would have been a little bit shorter, cut out some of the moments where like not much is happening, and like really condense it down and make it a little bit more fast paced, this book would have been amazing. The whole concept, the setup is really really nice, but there's a lot of like moments where it's just like lull, like it can get kind of boring. I found myself turning off the audiobook multiple times because I was starting to get bored. So I don't know. It might be a 2.5, honestly. Another issue that I had with this was the dialogue just didn't feel natural. The characters didn't feel real. They felt like characters. The dialogue felt like book dialogue. It didn't feel like an actual conversation that people actually have in real life. And like, I don't know, it just felt weird. It was something about it that I just didn't like, but I liked the concept. I liked the book. I liked the story. Which is why I feel like a 2.5 is kind of harsh, but um I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to have to go with. Is the 2.5. Um Yeah, and it took me, like, honestly, I started this Wednesday and today's Tuesday. And I'm doing this challenge, and it took me this whole time to finish this because I kept picking it up and putting it down, picking it up, putting it down, because I didn't want to read it because I was getting bored. Also, that's another point. So there's this guitar in this book. This like her mom's old Gibson, and they keep talking about this guitar and how much it's worth, and like they're talking about like major money. And I got curious. I got really curious, and I was like, wait, hold on. Like, how much are these guitars? Because it's major money. And I started looking it up, and I don't know what kind of guitar it is, but like none of the guitars listed on the Gibson website are even remotely close to how much they were talking about this guitar would be worth. And then I went and I searched up like antique Gibson guitars, and none of them come even remotely close. I think there was one that was like the highest, and it was like half the price
of what they said this guitar in here was worth. And I was like, what kind of guitar is this? Like major, major money. I was like, whoa. I don't know anything about guitars. I might be like stupid right now because I don't know anything about guitars, but it was just like crazy how much they were saying this is worth. So, like, that also was bothering me because they talk about this guitar and how much it's worth over and over and over. And I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way that this guitar is worth that much money. Anyways, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to start listening to Full Disclosure now. Today's Thursday, and I actually wanted to end this vlog yesterday, so I am going to go ahead and just end it, but I wanted to let you guys know that I did end up finishing Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. I finished it yesterday. And I am going to give this one a 4-star. I actually really did enjoy it very much. So you are following a young girl. She's like 17, I think she's like a junior in high school, named Simone, who is a junior in high school. So she's like about 17. And she is adopted, and so what she is going through is Simone was born with HIV. It is something that she has dealt with her entire life, and just as she's getting older and becoming, older, she's a teenager now. Some of the aspects of HIV are a little bit harder for her to deal with. And she really just wishes that she could be like a normal teenager. And Simone has a crush on this boy, Miles, who is honestly like so sweet. And so she develops this crush on him, and turns out that Miles actually likes her back, and they start flirting with each other. They kind of have a little romance going. And then one day Simone goes to her locker, and there is a little note that says something along the lines of, I know you have HIV, stop talking to Miles or else. Simone is completely freaked out by this. She doesn't know who could have found out that she has HIV, because that is one thing. She keeps it secret from everyone just because of the way that people react when they find out. So she keeps it secret. She doesn't want people to know. And so she doesn't know who could have found out, how could they know, and who would be doing this. So that is essentially the premise and setup of the book. And I think this book is really good. It's right up there with all the other like YA books that really deal with like blackmail or like someone threatening, like right up there with like Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, or like Felix Ever After. It's right up there with them. So if you like those, you would definitely like this one. Also, I would say it really this book reminds me a lot of like Joya Goffney's books. Some of the subjects are similar subjects that Joya Goffney has covered in her books are also in here, as far as like being black and white spaces, or just like a young girl discovering her like sexual health. Yeah, I do not know if Cameron Garrett has HIV or knows someone with HIV, but there was a lot of information in here. I definitely did a lot of research going into this, because there was so much information. Like, the one thing that I also really enjoyed as well are the characters. The characters in this book are phenomenal. Simone even though she's young, even though she's a teenager, you know, all of her decisions I feel are completely justified in, you know, the situation that she's going through. And then also, her friends are great. The love interest, Miles, is wonderful. And Simone's, her dads as well are just like amazing. They're like amazing. So they actually were some of my favorites because they are hilarious. They're like, you know, embarrassing, you know, the right amount of embarrassing. Um, yeah, I loved it. So I definitely highly recommend this book. That is it, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog because I should have ended it yesterday. And I'm going to start my next one right now because I've already am, you know, on the verge of finishing up my next book already. So I'm going to go ahead and start my vlog right now where this one is leaving off. If you like this video, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment of, you know, if you've read any of these and what your thoughts are. And also leave a comment of any like really short reads that you know that could maybe help me get caught up a little bit since I'm a little bit behind. And if you want to see more videos from me, or you want to you know, see the next vlog, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.